When it comes to determining the types of musicians, one ubiquitous problem seems to be that people don't separate the musician as a person from the music that that person has created. But if you want your typings to hold up, it is necessary to do so. Take, for instance, somebody like Miles Davis. Here you have a guy who initiated several big stylistic changes in the world of jazz over the years. He was at the forefront of cool jazz, modal jazz, jazz fusion, avant garde jazz, and more. If you compare an album like Kind of Blue to an album like On the Corner, they're just on completely different planets. Miles Davis was an exceptionally creative guy with a wealth of innovative ideas. So, what one might erroneously take from this is that he's constantly coming up with new ideas and thus must be an any type. But if you put these preconceptions aside and read interviews with Miles Davis, you find absolutely nothing in the way of any there whatsoever. It is the same with Bob Dylan. Though we have our disagreements with Kiersey, the guy has written a good article on Bob Dylan where he points out that because N types connect with Dylan's lyrics and ascribe meanings to his songs, they assume that Dylan must be like them. With many musicians, when you ignore how creative their music or lyrics may be, and you just focus on considering them as people, they are clearly S types. You can't derive a person's type from their music or their lyrics, especially when it comes to lyrics. There seems to be another recurring theme that people attach undue importance to. People will often argue that since some artist used a metaphor in their lyrics, then they must be an N type. The implication being here that an S type would not be capable of coming up with a metaphor simply because they're an S type. One wonders what they think a song written by an S type would be like. Perhaps they think every song written by an S type would read like Rebecca Black's Friday. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yesterday was Thursday, Thursday. Today is Friday, Friday. Tomorrow is Saturday, and Sunday comes after. Yeah, la. Everyone uses metaphors to some degree, and lyrics, by their very nature, are prone to feature metaphors. Do you expect lyrics written by an S type to be completely devoid of all metaphor and abstraction? And if so, do you also expect the lyrics of N types to be completely devoid of all practical and specific meaning as well? If the answer is no, then the underlying assumption here is that S and N is not a true dichotomy in its own right, but that N types are really S types with an extra layer. If you think that, please go watch our video on the bias against sensation.